told. My shiver tastes sour, my soul tastes sweet. I wanna lay down, but I just can't sleep. So voodoo working.
The children don't like it though. Your children usually don't like it. They say when you calm down, they think I'm eccentric.
Right, we'll give them another 10 years.
They want you to have an apron on and baking apple pie and looking after the horrible children they produce. You know, they just go, oh, she's out again. Oh, well, I'm sorry, I'm dancing on the bandstand, right? And they went, what do you mean?
El barco se hace pequeño cuando se arriba en el
Because I did have a terribly bad back and I had lots of sagging going on. Do you know what I mean? But I just ploughed through. I used to go to the class. I went to the class with a walking stick, right? Went to the class, and this woman says to me, "Excuse me, why are you here?" I says, "I'm learning to walk again." And I just did this, and then eventually my shoulders, I could do that. But I did a whole dance with shimmies like this because I couldn't move the rest of me.
De la fuente cristalina salen los arroyitos caudalosos.
When you get to a certain age, you think you have to behave in a certain way. Now, when I retired, I was quite looking forward in some ways to a kind of gracious living, but that didn't happen at all.
So when I was 60, I thought, well, I don't mind if I look stupid. I might as well have a go.
Yeah.
Performing in public, it's really sort of scary, but somehow it's like deliciously painful, you know. It is. I mean, because you can live dangerously now, because you haven't got any responsibility.
That's true.
And you've got to do something scary every day, just to make you.
Well, I just have to look in the mirror in the morning.
I was born in the washroom of a little miner's cottage in South Wales. My granddad was a coal miner and my mum was evacuated during the war. So that's where I was born, and there was the pit at the bottom of the village and a slag heap and then beautiful mountains behind. A big thing that happened to me was when I was about 9, I got polio and I had to spend a lot of time in bed. So I became one of these kids that missed a lot of school, had read a lot, so I was top in general knowledge and totally bottom in geography and all those boring things.
We like to think we can live, a little while, but the other side is saying, I'm not too worried about it. I've got enough wrong with me, any one of them could get me. So I believe in the philosophy of, a day at a time and enjoy what you can.
I don't actually feel any older than I was, say, 30 years ago. Occasionally, when you go past a shop window and you actually see yourself, you think, is that me? But you don't actually feel that person that you're actually looking at. So if you don't do too much of concentrating on looking at your image that you are today, and you don't pay too much attention to that, then it's fine.
Inside, I have a lot of the feelings that I formed in my formative years. I don't like injustice. I am still bloody-minded. Outside, my body is not as young as it used to be. But having said that, I prefer to go with the inner me than anything else that's going on, really. And that might be seen as being hopeful.
Slow down, baby, you're going too fast. Your love is voodoo, and I just can't laugh. I cried last night and the night before. 20 long hours, my eyes are sore.
My ambition used to be the old sailor's dream of retiring to a country where the sun shines, the liquor is cheap, and the natives ride mules.
Doing what I've always been doing, keeping active and busy, and trying to look after my comrades who I work with.
No longer having to conform or be thought respectable.
I've split up with this husband and had lots of lovely lovers in between. I had a really good 10 years.
Well, all I hope is I keep my health so I can get in my garden, get up and down the shops when I want to.
In Hanover, I was a Communist Party candidate, and my name was Belle Mundy then, so we had a lovely slogan on the corrugated sheeting at the bottom of Richmond Street for years, which said, "Vote Mundy on Thursday."
We were billeted in near Manchester, and the other soldiers used to go out drinking at night, and I went to dance lessons. Oh, it keeps me active, keeps me going.
How long have you two been dancing together?
About
4 years,
4 years.
5 years now.
About 4 years. She's my carer. She don't care.
That's right.
And I meet some lovely women. I do.
Don has hundreds of ladies queuing up to dance with him all the time.
I really, yeah, well, I don't know why, because I'm not rich. I think somebody's told him I've got money. You've got to keep moving. It's no good. I retired in '82, and I could have easily sat back in the armchair, put the fire on and faded away. But I didn't. I went out dancing.
Of all the boys I've known, and I've known some, until I first met you I was lonesome. And when you came in sight, dear, my heart grew light, and this old world seemed new to me. You're really swell, I have to admit you deserve expressions that really fit you. And so I racked my brain hoping to explain all the things that you do to me.
I've got all sorts of interests. I've got a house full of junk. But stuff, gadgets and things that I buy and mess about with. And I've got a television aerial that I can switch all around the world, get any station I like all over the world. It means getting up on the roof to fix it.
I could say Bella.
I'm full of hope. Yes.
What are you full of hope for?
Well, I hope I'll keep going for a while yet.
I've tried to explain by mere physical shame. So kiss me and say you understand.
How was that?
Lovely Spanish girl. Yeah.
After 65, I'll have sufficient money to do exactly what I want. Thank you very much.
Go by train to China.
Buy a castle.
Stay in bed for the week.
We know just who we are.
And what we have not been able to accomplish does not matter now.
Do you know what? I think I'm going a bit, you know what I mean, how they go when they get old.
I better say it, what it's about, yeah? Do you want me to say, ой, дівчина ти моя, чи пойдеш ти за мене, не пойде я за тебе, не махати у тебе. That means somebody asking, the boy asking girl, can you marry me? And she said, I'm not going to marry you because you haven't got a house. So that's a song, it's just a Ukrainian song which I learned a little bit. Because they stay in my head and otherwise coordination is not good. Not going much to doctors. Meeting nice people, positive people. Good things, a lot of things, good things happen. I got 2 arms, 1 head, 2 legs, everything in the right place. So.
Have you had a lot of good things happen to you in your life?
I suppose these things happen, yeah. I had 3 children. I had been married in the past, and I had 3 children, which I lost 1. So I had the bad things. I lost in a car accident 8 years ago. I lost my older daughter.
Make sure my wig's on straight. This little squiggles here is Cambodia, and it's Khao Dang refugee camp. And because it was so overcrowded, I asked the people in charge if I could start a school there. So I got the volunteers to steal some bamboo and stuff, and they knocked up a little schoolroom on the edge of the ward.
It's a cat and dogs, my friends. And so, because I lost my mother when I was 3.5, so that's a lot saying why only cat and dog. And so I had this sorrow, a lot of sorrow when I was younger, and that's why I'm small, 5 foot, and then grow up. I make sure my children tall, grow up. And I give them confidence because when I'm with them, some people used to make jokes. They're saying, "What's went wrong?" Because one is 6'1" and another one 5'11".
Oh well, I had breast cancer. So I'm having chemotherapy at the moment, which is a bit ghastly. But normally, I'm a total health freak. I eat really healthy stuff all the time. And I don't smoke and I don't drink much, and I'm not too fat. So I shouldn't really have it, but, you know, unfortunately, I think I have a lot of stress in my life because of all the messes I get myself in. Lots of hairy bits.
Lots of hairy bits, but maybe that's part of the deal. Is it for fulfillment? Do you need...
Yes. Yes, they say whenever you lose, don't lose the lesson.
When you're young, you need lots of attention. And you don't get, then you constantly, but when you're older, you can let attention give yourself, you don't expect anything. That's the right word. It's not expecting anything. Create your own surrounding friends, and it's still more, never enough. You always want more experience, enjoying every day. That's the best thing. Not thinking much future, because you never know what future, but it's enjoying this moment, like now I'm with you.
When I was working in the refugee camp with the Cambodians, we translated Row, Row, Row the boat into the Khmer language. We'd sit on this little mud hut floor and we'd all be going Om, Duknet, Yang Yu Tang Dan Stang, Sabai, 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 Jivit Doi Soba. That was all we did, but then we just do it over and over and over again, but they used to fall about laughing. But it just means, you know, life is like a dream.
Nobody knows what will be thrown at them in their lives. Nobody knows. It's how you deal with it, whether you come through it, whether you succumb to it, or whatever. But you just rise above it and do the best you can. And that's what I do.
I mean, it's always better to go for it and end up failing than just to sit at home saying, I can't do this, I can't do that.
I like life, and I think I've got a good sense of humour, which goes a long way. If you haven't got a sense of humour, you might as well get in your box, I think.
How are you with old age?
With old age? I don't believe in it, but I'll let you know when I get there.
It's like they're saying, you can have 2 childhood. One is you have no control, and second childhood, you have control over. So that's my second childhood.
Qué bonita y no me besa, qué bonita y no me besa. Yo te vi a ti corona de clavel en la cabeza. Yo te vi a ti corona de clavel en la cabeza. Dile que lo mío es que el menos tiene 23.
Day is sour and my salty is sweet. I wanna lay down, but I just can't sleep.